Hi, I'm an artist, and have you ever thought about painting bold using only squares? Well, I have, and I am curious, So first thing first, here's how we will conduct today's challenge. We will paint a glass bowl and I am only allowed to use a rectangle tool in Krita with any brush I want. I will explain this in a moment, by the way. And I'm not allowed to rotate the square because that's gonna be a different shape, like technically, but that's pretty much the only rule. Besides that, I can do whatever I want. And with that out of the way, let's actually do the thing now. Or not, because before actually starting, I spent some time playing around with the squares, like what kind of square I wanted to use. Because in Krita, when using the rectangle tool, the edge will change depending on what kind of brush you use. Some looked pretty normal and some was not. But in the end, I chose the marker medium from the Ink brush pack. And by the way, I will link it down below in the description box in case you wanted to check it out. So this is one of my favorite brush to doodle with. Like I use this all the time to draw my avatar in the video thumbnails and stuff. Like it's soft and a little bit squishy, which may be a weird way to describe it, but anyway, this brush makes the rectangle's corners a little bit rounded and overall softer than usual, which is something I really enjoy, so that's what we will use for today's. And also, I did discover a huge thing here as well. So as you may know, when you use a rectangle tool in Krita, you can hold down the shift key to make the rectangle a square. And normally this is perfectly fine because I usually only need to draw 1 or 2 squares at a time, you know. But with the amount of squares I will have to do in this video, this will be hell, like literally. Like imagine holding shift before doing every single one of the squares. But worry not, my comrade, because I discovered this. You can keep the ratio of the rectangles the same in Krita by going to the tool option docker. And then I only need to set this to be 1, clicking the lock, and then all I can draw now is squares. And I am very impressed, like so genius. Like Krita is just so freaking genius. And I'm so moved to discover this. Anyway, it was time I faced the first and also the biggest challenge in today's video, drawing a circle with only squares. And it was hard. Was so very hard. H-A-R-D, hard. I had to redo a few times, but I did figured something out in the process. So I have a square like this. If I draw another square from this point to this point and the new one is only picking out just a little like this, do the same thing on all 4 sizes. Repeat the process over and over again. Each time the new squares are smaller than the last, and in theory, in the end, I will achieve a perfect circle made out of square like this. So with the new knowledge equipped, I started to face the challenge head on. And everything had been going well so far. Things looked symmetrical just as expected, and things were great. And at the end, I got a dragon egg. Okay, how odd? But that was okay. It was still a circle adjacent thing, so it was fine. It is fine. I am fine. I didn't want to redo the thing, so this will have to do, like it will. So at this point, I suddenly felt a little bit overwhelmed because this kinda looked like nothing, you know? Which reminds me of a comment I received on the last video, which was about how to break down complicated scenes into big shapes, by the way. So the comment said that they had the opposite problem where they can see the big shapes, but they got overwhelmed when it was time to paint the details. And while I did touch on this a little in the video itself, I also felt that kind of overwhelming sensation at this point of this square painting. Like, yes, I got the shapes down, but that's pretty much all I got, and nothing else. Where should I even begin with something like this? And in moments like this, what I usually do is zooming in real close into one small part of the painting, so that I am kind of forced to think and focus only on that one small part and nothing else. And then I decide in which order I should paint that part. It can be from left to right, from up to down, and it didn't have to be a strict order either, just a general vague direction of where I should begin with. So it kinda helps me feel less overwhelmed in a way, like taking things slow and steady, one small part after another, that kind of thing. So for this painting, it was the glass bowl part. I just zoomed on that bowl, well, no, not the bowl, the glass dragon egg. I just zoomed in on that part and thought about nothing else but it. And then I started to work from the left to the right. And personally and generally, this strategy works pretty well for me. Like, I was able to forget about the negative emotion and focused on painting the bowl, well, the egg. And I was actually quite enjoy how it came out. And also I forgot to mention, but at this point I did reduce the opacity of the square to about 17% or so to make the blending and the rendering a little bit easier, which is something I learned from doing the orange with only lasso fill. I really enjoy that look, so I decided to do the same thing for this challenge as well. Anyway, what were we talking about? Me enjoying the glass egg. So it has been quite a while since the last time I painted something transparent like this. So both my brain and my hand really enjoyed this. Like excited because it was frankly a ridiculous challenge, but also quite at ease at the same time because I was painting something familiar, you know. Like, yes, I did feel a little bit overwhelmed at first, but when I started to paint, the muscle memory of how to paint glass settled in pretty quick, and I got pretty chilled and relaxed in no time. And by the time I realized it, I already got this, like, oh my gosh, how much I love mentally shutting off during a painting and just letting my brain and my hand doing all the work. Like, what a nice experience. And whenever this happens, it will almost always guarantee a good painting. Like 100% recommend, but sadly not 100% it will happen every time I paint. Yeah. But anyway, when painting the background, I discovered a pretty neat little thing like this. So if I painted this lower part of the background with bigger squares and the upper part with smaller squares, it will create an illusion that this part was much nearer to us than that part. Which, upon saying it out loud, I do realize that it is a pretty basic rule of perspective, you know, like things near us big and things far us small. Which, yes, not so flawless English grammar, but I believe it is 100% understandable, so I will leave it at that. Anyway, even though just something pretty basic, being able to create that illusion with just different size squares still feels pretty neat, like applying theory into practice, you know. Always nice to be able to do that. And also, before we are done with this dragon egg, I have to say that I really enjoyed how the shadows turned out. Like, the transition was pretty smooth and nice, especially for something that only made out of squares. And it also have a big glow and some subtle color changes as well, which makes it even more pleasant to look at. And a good shadow like this is an essential part to make transparent things look convincing and enticing. So I have to say that I am really sorry I couldn't give you a good shaped glass dragon egg, but I am glad I was able to pair you with a wonderful shadow companion like this, so be happy. At least you got a nice partner. Well, maybe that was a little bit mean, so sorry. Anyway, I think I shouldn't really talk any more than this. So yeah, the glass dragon egg made out of exclusively square shapes is done. Let's check out how it looks, shall we? So that was the square only challenge, a nice change of pace because all my recent videos have been quite long, well, to my standard at least. Anyway, time for an obligate sales pitch. So if you enjoy what I do here on the channel, you can consider supporting me on Ko-fi or becoming a YouTube member for $3 a month, and you will receive my gratitude and also some cute wallpapers, which is by no means an obligation. I'm just obligated to say this, but you are not obligated to do it. So with that out of the way, as always, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day / night ahead, and see you later.